My beloved brothers and sisters, many awakened soul, those who think deeply, who feel deeply, who search for truth, often struggle when it comes to love. They may look for it in people, in the world, in fleeting attachments, but still feel empty. The truth is, no heart can be complete until it is connected to Allah. Without Him, love becomes fragile and disappointing. But when you find Allah first, every relationship after becomes a blessing, not a burden. Real love begins when the soul finds its home in the one who created it. The illusion of love without Allah. Many people enter relationships thinking love alone will bring them peace. Yet they forget that the heart's true anchor is with Allah. Without Him, no matter how beautiful the companionship may seem, it eventually feels incomplete. The Qur'an reminds us, verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. 13:28. When Allah is absent, the heart remains restless. Love without Allah often begins with excitement but ends with emptiness. People invest their emotions, their time and their hopes only to discover that human love is fragile. One word, one mistake, one moment of change can shatter what seemed unbreakable. This illusion teaches that no love can be secure unless rooted in the Creator. When people seek love only from others, they place expectations too heavy for any human to carry. A spouse, a friend, or even family cannot be the source of ultimate peace. They may love you, but they cannot heal your heart or guarantee your future. That power belongs to Allah alone. The illusion is strongest when we mistake infatuation for fulfillment. Hearts attached to appearances, wealth, or fleeting attention, believing they have found happiness. But as soon as those qualities fade, the emptiness returns. Only love for Allah endures through every season of life. Some people stay in harmful relationships because they fear loneliness more than they fear losing Allah. They chase acceptance at the cost of their dignity, forgetting that the one who truly values them is above the heavens. This misplaced reliance brings pain rather than peace. The Prophet taught us that true love is for Allah's sake. When two people love one another purely for Allah, their bond is blessed and elevated. Without this foundation, love becomes selfish, demanding, and conditional, an illusion that fades under hardship. A sign of illusory love is constant disappointment. No matter how much you give or receive, something always feels missing. That void is not a lack of human affection, but a reminder that the heart is designed to long for its Creator before anyone else. Love without Allah also fuels attachment to dunya. People begin to measure worth through gifts, appearances, and status, forgetting that true companionship is about guiding each other to Jannah. When love is reduced to materialism, it becomes shallow and unsatisfying. The Quran tells us of people who take others as rivals to Allah, loving them as they should love Him. 2:165. This misplaced love becomes destructive because no creation can replace the Creator. It turns the heart away from its true purpose, leaving it unfulfilled. Another illusion is thinking that human love can cure inner wounds. Many search for partners to heal their sadness, but healing comes from Allah. A person may comfort you for a while, but only Allah can truly mend a broken heart and bring lasting tranquility. Love without Allah often blinds people to truth. They excuse wrong behavior, compromise their faith, or abandon their values just to hold on to a relationship. What begins as love ends as regret, proving that anything built on disobedience cannot bring true peace. When Allah is absent, love becomes a test rather than a blessing. Instead of drawing you closer to Him, it distracts you and burdens your soul. Relationships turn into chains, draining your energy instead of wings that lift you closer to Allah. The illusion lies in thinking love itself is enough. But the truth is, without guidance, love can mislead. Allah must be the light within that bond. Otherwise, the path becomes dark. And what felt like connection leads only to heartbreak. Even friendships without Allah lack permanence. Companions who unite for dunya separate when dunya ends. But those who connect for Allah are promised shade on the day of judgment, a love that survives beyond this world. People who depend solely on human love often fear loss intensely. Their happiness rises and falls with another person's actions. This dependency creates anxiety, showing that love without Allah is unstable, built on sand rather than stone. The Prophet ﷺ said, "None of you truly believes until I am more beloved to him than his father, his child, and all people." Bukhari and Muslim. This hadith reminds us that true faith places divine love above all else, ensuring that other loves fall into balance. When Allah is absent, love demands constant validation. People feel insecure, always needing reassurance because the foundation is weak. But when Allah is at the center, the heart feels secure even in silence, knowing love is anchored by Him. The illusion is shattered when hardships come. Trials expose whether love was genuine or superficial. If Allah was not part of the bond, difficulties often lead to blame and separation. But with Allah, hardships become opportunities for growth and patience together. True love without Allah is impossible because He is Al-Wadud, the source of love. Any attempt to build love without Him is like trying to light a lamp without fire. It may look real for a while, but it cannot last. So my beloved brothers and sisters, remember, the illusion of love without Allah is temporary, but love for His sake is eternal. Seek Allah first, and He will bless your relationships with sincerity, strength, and peace. Without Him, love will always feel incomplete. Why the heart remains empty without divine connection. Why the heart remains empty without divine connection. The human heart was created to know Allah before it knew anyone else. When this connection is neglected, emptiness creeps in no matter how much love, wealth, or recognition surrounds you. The Qur'an reminds us, verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. 13:28. Without that remembrance, peace remains out of reach. People often try to fill the heart with dunya, possessions, relationships, achievements, yet the void lingers. This is because the heart's design is spiritual, not material. Only through closeness to Allah can the soul feel whole, as everything else is temporary and fading. The emptiness of the heart becomes most apparent when blessings feel meaningless. You may have love, comfort, or success, but if Allah is absent, none of it satisfies. This hollowness is a divine sign urging you to return to your Creator before the dunya distracts you further. Even moments of joy without Allah are fleeting. Laughter fades, celebrations end, and silence returns with heaviness. But joy rooted in divine connection remains steady because it is anchored in something eternal. That is why the believer finds peace even in trials. A heart without Allah is like a house without light. Outwardly it may look beautiful, but inside it is dark and unsettling. No matter how much you decorate the outside, the inner emptiness cannot be hidden, for the soul knows it is disconnected from its source. Loneliness is often a symptom of this disconnection. You can be surrounded by people yet feel utterly alone because no companionship can replace Allah's closeness. The Prophet ﷺ would spend nights in prayer, showing that intimacy with Allah fills every void. The emptiness deepens when people seek validation from others. Their worth rises and falls with opinions, likes, or acceptance. But when connected to Allah, the heart no longer craves constant approval. It finds dignity in knowing that Allah's gaze is enough. A disconnected heart often struggles with anxiety and fear. The unknown feels overwhelming because there is no trust in Allah's plan. But when tawakkul takes root, the fear of tomorrow lessens and the heart rests in the certainty that Allah is sufficient. The Qur'an describes hearts hardened by neglect like stone that cannot absorb water, 274. When hearts forget Allah, they become heavy and empty, chasing desires that never satisfy. Connection to Allah softens that hardness, turning emptiness into light. Even love without Allah cannot fill the heart. A partner's affection may bring comfort, but only Allah's love can heal wounds and bring contentment. Human love is fragile. while divine love is unshakable. It sustains even when others fail you. A heart without Allah becomes restless in dunya. No achievement feels enough. No milestone brings lasting joy. This is why wealthy people may still feel poor and love people still feel lonely. The emptiness is spiritual, not physical. The emptiness can also appear in moments of success. A person may achieve everything they dreamed of, yet still whisper, "Is this all?" That whisper is the soul longing for Allah, reminding that true fulfillment lies only in worship and remembrance. Allah describes those who turn away from Him. And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed, he will have a depressed life. 20:124. Depression of the heart is not always about external circumstances. It is the natural result of disconnection from Allah. A believer who connects with Allah feels a richness even in poverty. Their heart overflows with contentment because they know the giver, not just the gift. Without Allah, even abundance feels like scarcity because the heart was not designed to live without Him. The emptiness also manifests as constant comparison. When disconnected from Allah, people measure themselves against others endlessly. But with divine connection, the heart learns contentment, grateful for what Allah has decreed, no matter how small or great. A heart without Allah is vulnerable to addictions. It clings to distractions, entertainment, wealth, relationships to avoid facing the void. But every distraction fades, leaving the emptiness deeper. Only turning back to Allah can heal the root, not just the symptoms. Divine connection transforms emptiness into clarity. Suddenly struggles make sense, blessings feel sweeter, and relationships gain depth. The heart no longer searches desperately in the world. It rests, knowing it has found its true home with Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "There is a piece of flesh in the body. If it is sound, the whole body is sound. If it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. It is the heart." Bukhari, Muslim. This hadith shows why the heart must be connected to Allah. Without Him, corruption and emptiness spread everywhere. The greatest sign of emptiness is hopelessness. A disconnected heart feels abandoned. But the moment a person turns back to Allah with dua, Qur'an and Salah, hope returns and the emptiness fades. Even small acts of remembrance bring immense healing. So my brothers and sisters, remember, no matter how much dunya you gather, the heart will remain empty without Allah. Fill it with His remembrance and you will never feel incomplete again. For only in Him does the soul find its true rest. Quranic guidance on true companionship. The Quran reminds us that companionship is not just about sharing time, but about sharing purpose. Allah says, close friends that day will be enemies to each other except for the righteous. 43:67. This verse teaches that only companionship rooted in faith lasts beyond dunya. A true companion in the Quran is described as one who reminds you of Allah when you forget. Their presence lifts you closer to remembrance, not further into heedlessness. Companionship without this reminder is fragile, bound only to temporary desires. Allah shows us the example of Musa, A.S.,